Ladies and gentlemen, welcome into the 143, the virtual one, as neither one of us are at the current actual 143 right now, but we're still bringing you an episode because that's what we do, and we're happy to be here with all of y'all.
It's a busy time of the year, me and Joseph. We can't be in the office 24/7 anymore. We just got things to do, but that does not mean that the content stops. We
Oh yeah.
continue bringing to you stuff every week virtually because we just love our fans too much to take a week off.
Yep, so we're gonna talk a little NFL. It's been a couple weeks, but let's get started with the stat of the week, brought to you by Andrews Logistics. Actually a baseball stat, because we gotta hop on the Rangers right now, baby. 5-0 since the All-Star break. We are rolling. The last time Nick and I talked about how good we were playing, we started playing really bad, so we're hoping not to jinx it this time. But playing pretty well since the All-Star break. Got a tough stretch of games, but right now we're 5-0. So that's your stat of the week since the All-Star break.
Speaking of the Rangers, I just went ahead and made our player of the week Aroldis Chapman. Since being acquired by the Rangers, he has pitched a total of 6 innings, given up 2 hits, no runs, and has 10 Ks. And boy, oh boy, have we needed it. We needed him on Monday night against Tampa Bay. He came in the ninth, absolutely shoved when the game was tied.
Man,
Struck out the side, was looking absolutely electric, and then the Rangers walked it off, and then Rangers won again tonight,
tonight.
Tuesday night
Yep.
against the Rays, and that clears, that secures the series. And what have we been saying all along? You
Gotta
just
win the
win the
series.
series. You don't have to sweep everybody. You just win the series, and that's what we've done.
Mm-hmm. Loving how they're playing right now. Hoping we can keep it going. Not going to talk about them too much so we don't jinx them like we did last time. So we're going to move on. Big discussion right now in the NFL. Running backs. We've talked about it a couple times. We've got some new stuff to talk about in regards to the fact that the deadline to sign long-term extensions was, I think, Monday. And in the NFL, that deadline has passed, and that left running backs like Saquon Barkley and Josh Jacobs without a big payday like they were hoping for, as well as Austin Eckler. They're out Twitter right now complaining. I will say, before I let Nick take off with his stance on this, Saquon Barkley, he's acting like they didn't offer him anything. Saquon Barkley was offered $11 million a year, making him the third highest paid running back. Okay. And that's where he deserves to be, because it's Derrick Henry, Christian McCaffrey, and then he would have been the third highest paid. And I think that's a good place to be. He declined it, so he's making a big deal about it. But all the running backs are saying how running backs are not respected and paid enough. Nick, I'll let you take it away with that.
I mean, here's the thing. We've talked about this issue before. And so for me, the most valuable position on the field, and I'm assuming Joseph will agree with me on this, is quarterback,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because we talk about the Chiefs all the time, but I mean, you have to. They won the Super Bowl last year. They had the best quarterback in the league. And I mean, they kind of they were kind of working with scraps, if you will, at running back, but Patrick Mahomes was able to make do. And then after that, I think you got to pay the offensive line, because if you have a solid offensive line, you can essentially put anybody back there in the backfield at running back, and they'll be successful. And then the other thing is running backs are incredibly injury prone. So it is just scary to ink a running back to a big, expensive contract because their health is always a concern.
Yeah, I was gonna say so you look at the teams that made it to the Super Bowl last year, Chiefs, Eagles, none of them had a notable running back. None of them were like a big name running back. You can get it done with any running back right now in the league. As long as they're pass catching back, um they're your team is fine. So a lot of people are like, Tony Pollard didn't get paid. Well, Tony Pollard hasn't really proven anything, So Tony Pollard didn't need to get paid. Josh Jacobs has done a great job. Saquon Barkley, I think 11 million a year is really good, considering the fact that he gets hurt all the time, and he should have taken it, because I'm not sure he's making it through this year on the franchise tag. And Yeah, I think though, like the biggest thing is you look at the Chiefs, the team that everybody wants to be like right now. The Chiefs do not have a single running back that they're paying a lot of money to. You don't you before the Super Bowl, you'd never heard of Isaiah Pacheco. I mean, he was like the rookie. He's not an amazing running back, but he's there when they needed him, and that's what enabled them to win the Super Bowl.
Absolutely. And that Saquon thing is very true because I mean he's an injury prone guy. We've seen it time and time again, and then he should have easily signed that deal. I agree one thousand
Hmm.
percent because there's no question or there's a question on whether or not he'll make it through this next season. And the other thing with Pollard is I get he outperformed Zeke last year, but I don't think he was really the true RB1. So he split most of the snaps with Zeke last year, so he has not proven himself to be a solidified 100%. He can be the running back one every single week, every single snap. He's proven that he has the talent, but we just don't know if there's the durability there.
I would also say that something interesting that I found, Jeff Darlington got a quote from an anonymous GM that said, I don't think this trend of the diminishing contracts for the position of running back is going to end anytime soon. I'd rather draft one high and let him walk after 5 years than pay him big money. So a lot of these guys, they want to draft him, let them play out their rookie contract, and then at the end, it's kind of like they've served their time. I mean, running backs, like we've seen, they don't get better with time. Like quarterbacks will, wide receivers can, but running backs don't. They get hurt with time, and so right now, unfortunately for running backs, the position is looking like it's a you know just sign them to like the rookie deal and let them walk after that once they've served their time.
I mean, I think that's pretty smart if you ask me. And then the other thing is, as a Cowboys fan, you know, uh, we kind of got a close up view of that from Zeke, right? Because he had a productive first, I'll say like he had a productive first 4 years because 3 of his first 4 years he rushed for at least 1,000 yards. So he had a product, and then he kind of fell off with time because he lost a little bit of speed. He got injured. He ran into some legal trouble, and so I think we finally got smart this year and got rid of him. And so I do think that's true. I think that's pretty smart to just play out a running back for 5 years and then let him walk and hopefully draft another.
It's sad because it's the business side of the NFL. I mean, obviously I mean, if everything was perfect, everyone would get paid a lot of money. Which I guess I say a lot of money. I say 11 million is still a pretty good amount of money, but I think it's also just notable to see that all the running backs around the league are coming out here saying, we're clearly like teams aren't. We're clearly a super valuable position. The teams aren't valuing us enough. Like we all know that teams don't make it to the Super Bowl without a really good running back, and I just think that has not been the case recently. And unfortunately for them, they're wrong. That's why not a lot of players are coming out and supporting that statement. There's a reason that receivers and quarterbacks are making way more. Defensive players making way more. It's because, I mean, I'd say the one position that you don't need to have an amazing guy at would probably be running back.
I would agree because if all your other positions are sound, like you have solid receiving core, solid quarterback, solid O lineman, then you don't need a top 10 running back to be successful, right? I mean, um, we talk about it all the time, but it's just because it's so true. The Chiefs, man, they can make anyone succeed, and that's just because they've got Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes. Like those two are absolute offensive geniuses. They completely changed the game, and everyone's trying to be like them. And um, they haven't had a top 10 running back in like ever.
Hmm.
So
Exactly.
they've been one of the best teams for the last like 5 years, and I think that just goes to show that you don't need a solid running back. Like people out here have been saying, I've seen on Twitter a couple times that you don't win a Super Bowl without a decent running back, but that's simply just not true.
I agree completely, and it's unfortunate for the running back position, but Saquon Barkley should have taken his long-term deal when they offered it to him, and unfortunately he didn't. He says he's not going to play on the franchise tag. As Cowboys fans, we hope he doesn't play under the franchise tag, and but that's where he's at, and running back position is at. I don't see it changing anytime soon, like that GM said. I think that's just where it's going to stay for a while. So kids going into high school, you're trying to find a position, probably would not pick running
Don't
back
play
right
running
now.
back.
Yep.
I mean, think about Paul. He got injured, I want to say twice this year.
Mm-hmm.
He had that hip flexor deal at the towards the end of the regular season, and then obviously last game
He's still on his rookie deal.
Fibula.
Yeah,
I think it was.
so.
He broke some bone in his leg. Like, dude, you got injured twice in one season. That is a red flag for an owner.
You're not gonna sign
That's the
long
thing
term.
is, it's a business. You know, it's not that it's anything personal, but like they're trying to take this team to the every GM coach or whatever is trying to take their team to the top. And that what is that? That's a Super Bowl. And so they're just doing what they see fit. It's like it has nothing to do with you. With them not thinking you're valuable or running backs aren't valuable at all. But it's just they have to look at it from a winning standpoint. You know what I'm saying? Like they want to win, and overpaying a running back, I do not feel like helps them win. So that's why they're simply just not going to do that.
The Titans overpaid for their running back. While he's really good, the Titans have not won. So even a playoff game.
Speaking of the Titans, they got a nice little signing there in DeAndre Hopkins, but I've also seen them getting flamed a little bit because people were just saying, you know, and I kind of agree they could have just re-signed AJ Brown but they chose to get rid of him and pick up a less notable receiver the next year, who me and Joseph have both admitted to is a little overrated. But is he going to be the thing that the Titans need? Absolutely not. I've seen people trying to hype up the Derrick Henry, DeAndre Hopkins duo, but you're severely going to be disappointed. You don't have a quarterback. Like Ryan Tannehill is not good.
Yep.
I'm sorry. I hate to break it to you. Well, here's where we like to end our shows on Under Review. I've brought you a quote from Jonathan Jones, who plays for the New England Patriots, and this is a little prelude to an episode that we will be bringing to you shortly regarding gambling in the NFL. He said, "I understand rules are rules, but I can risk my life so that my team wins, but I can't risk 1K on my team winning."
An interesting take from John Jones on the Pats.
If you
will hear
don't know if
more
you
about
agree
that
or disagree, but that is an episode. Be looking for it.
We will let y'all know what we think next week. So thank you for tuning in this week, and please tune in next week for a pretty interesting episode of Under Review.